Am I the idiot for calling my sister out for putting me on a blind date and lying to both of us about it? To cut a very long story short, my sister put me on a blind date with a wonderful woman. I agreed to it reluctantly but was pleasantly surprised on said date, as she was pretty much my type and it was the best date I had been on in years. Here's the issue. The woman is 22, I'm 43. Now this wouldn't have been an issue if we had just discussed this on the first date, but foolishly we didn't. For some reason this conversation didn't come about for 3 months after the fact. Just for some context, the blind date was on Skype because of the current pandemic, and we only got to meet properly a few weeks ago. Nevertheless, I think due to being in lockdown, we both enjoyed having someone to talk to. So where does my sister come into it? At no point did my sister ever mention the age gap was this big. When she said younger, I was presuming 30s, not barely out of high school. On the other hand, my sister had told the woman in question that I was in my 30s, not 40s. My sister is 33, so I presumed she just thought we would be closer in age. Anyway, when this revelation came about recently, I was seething and had it out with my sister for matching me with someone completely inappropriate and for lying to both me and this woman she claims to be a friend. She can't see anything wrong with it because as far as she's concerned, we're both adults and we've been doing well for the past few months. Not to mention that I should have asked myself and not presumed. My issue is the principle. You can't lie to people like that, especially as I don't date very often anymore after my wife passed. She claimed she only did it because she knew I would have said no otherwise. So am I the idiot for having a go at her, or should I just be grateful for her kindness? Edit, just to clarify, the woman I've been dating does pass for her late 20s, something even she herself confirms. I have only met her in person once, and the vast majority of the time we only called on the phone or texted due to our jobs having hectic schedules. There was no conversation about our childhoods or anything which led either of us to believe the age gap was this large, and just to make it clear, I'm not remotely comfortable with this gap and my sister knew this. Now for a few comments before the update. Not the idiot. That's bonkers to me. Like dating with an age gap is certainly doable, but a 20-year difference means you two are at completely different stages in life and maturity. How did she not see that age would be an issue? Comment 2. No idiots here. Age must not have been as big an issue as you thought if it took 3 months to figure it out. Your preconceived notions were clearly wrong. I understand why you're upset, given your history and expectations. But the way everything played out suggests that your sister was right about how you could hit it off and that age wasn't as big of a factor as you presumed it to be. Should your sister have been more clear? Maybe. Seems like it could fall into the category of family covering each other's blind spots. How about actually talking to this person about how you feel about kids and marriage relative to the age gap instead of making those decisions for her? She's an adult and gets a say in her own life. Just because it's less common doesn't mean it can't work. Though if you enter into it now expecting it to fail, it certainly will. Now for the update. So I have had quite a few people asking me for an update, which was very thoughtful, and I thought it would just be easier to share in case anyone else wished to know. First of all, thank you so much for the support and love. It really did help, and made me feel very welcomed. Ultimately, I stuck to my guns and broke things off. Many of you asked how on earth I could have gone all of that time without knowing her age. Well, that was because she knew my age and initially lied to me. Apparently she and my sister had already had a conversation about my age, and how it wouldn't be an issue for her. She then asked my sister if I knew, and my sister said, and I quote, "Just play along." When I found out about this, I just had enough from both of them and left them to their own devices. It has been about a month and my sister and I are simply not speaking. She tried to call me and tell me that this was for my own good, but I just let her get on with it. I'm not necessarily mad at either of them, but I'm just done with them. The feelings I felt for the woman were more or less manufactured because she put on a persona which she knew I would be attracted to. Although it has been some time, I'm still exhausted by the whole situation, so I would prefer to keep my distance from the two of them. Nevertheless, thank you so much to those who replied and checked up on me. It meant a lot. For now I will just keep going on my own, but these things happen. Reddit and Twitter did prove that there were some decent people out there. Not necessarily saying the woman in question isn't decent, I just question her approach to this particular situation. Oh, and to those saying, "A male widow is a widower." I'm very much aware of that, but after years of saying it, and having foreign relatives not knowing the difference between the two, I stopped caring as they both meant the exact same thing: a person who had lost their spouse. Comment 1. Your 43 and 22-year-old women are actively lying in order to date you? I mean, this sounds great to me. There's been no mention of unsavory money plots, and you enjoyed dating her prior to learning about a minor detail. No one says you have to marry her down the road. It seems like you're just intentionally trying to make yourself miserable at this point. Comment 2. I'm so sorry you were lied to like this. How could either of them think you could build a relationship on deceit? I'm glad you're doing better now, and TBH, not speaking to your sister until she understands. Apologies and you are ready is absolutely justified. I'm glad this hasn't wrecked your opinion of all people. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for asking my best friend to stop treating me as his wife? I, female 19, met my best friend Lucian, male 19, at HS. I really liked him at 16, and when I confessed he said he was gay. I accepted it and moved on. But since we really got along together we stayed friends. Fast forward to some time, we got into the same college, we do everything together, and even have the same friend group. He starts referring to me as the missus and the wife. Later on he becomes jealous of any guy I'm with. And the most recent incident happened when a mutual friend asked me in front of Lucian if I still liked Lucian. I said no, it was 3 years ago, I moved on. Lucian became awfully quiet and said, well yes of course like everyone. TBH, it felt weird, but I didn't say anything at the moment until another friend, later on, mentioned to me that she was surprised we weren't dating. Most of our friends know he is gay, but those who don't assume we were together because of comments such as, I can't the missus won't let me, or, you should talk about this with the wife. At first it was funny, because he was gay, but now people who I'm interested in won't date me because they think I'm trying to cheat on Lucian. So I told him about this and he blew up and said that he was flattered. I still thought we could be together but he wasn't interested. He, later on, insisted that I was making too many conjectures and stuff, at which I simply said, stop saying I'm your wife you freaking moron. Some friends think that I'm overreacting, and most of them simply think that he should respect that I don't want to be associated with him romantically. Update. So I read most of the comments though I didn't reply because I truly didn't think there was anything to say. I showed this post to Lucian, which seemed the only honest attempt at recovering our friendship. Here's some backstory. When I confessed I was a messy 16 years old, so naturally I asked my friend to tell him through text. At which he said he didn't see me that way. I was super embarrassed, and didn't talk to him until one day he said something like, well I'm gay, that's why I said no. It was fine, I understood and we moved on. But now Lucian said that back then he didn't feel comfortable rejecting me and he wasn't gay in the first place. So yeah? He apologized for that and said that he was bi, but that he couldn't deal with a relationship at the time and didn't want to lose me. I was though I'm embarrassed to yell love her back in his I'm sorry okay, and he thought that was the only way we could still be friends. He said that he wanted to be with me. I said that it would be a bit weird and he offered to go on a date. So that's what we're doing LMAO this is weird but I'm young so frick it. Thanks to everyone who replied and made me see things from a different perspective. Final update. The date was fun, but I don't see him that way anymore. He understood and now we've decided we won't be roomies anymore, so no catastrophic ending as you wanted nor a happy ending as some hoped. I mean he did lie to me for 3 years, which is something that a lot of people pointed out. I told him I needed time to settle into the idea and he said that it was fine, like what was he supposed to say LMAO. He stopped calling me his wife, and he said that he was coming to terms with his sexuality. In an IG story. It was kinda cringe TBH. This is the final update because I didn't intend for it to blow up, but I'm a people pleaser so yeah. I'm still young, not hot, but I shower regularly so something good might come by. Comment 1. Not the idiot while he might be gay, he wants you to stay around. He wants to live his life like he wants and wants you around because he is comfortable and feels good with you around. He knows exactly what he is doing. I would correct him each and every time. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You need to go low contact, or just cut him off because he's keeping you from finding a partner and being happy. He doesn't own you and he's acting like you're his property. Now for the update. I received some messages from people asking how everything was and I decided to make an update because a lot has happened. First, the date was bad. I can finally say it without regrets. I couldn't kiss him, we didn't get intimate, he was weird and uncomfortable LMAO. We decided he was moving out of the apartment, but in the end he stayed. Everything was okay. Until his birthday 3 days ago. Yes, he's a Leo, but so am I. He invited a bunch of people he knows I don't like, but okay whatever his party I guess. But it turns out he wanted to spin the bottle. And when I refused he said, oh so you don't even talk to me, now you straight up refuse to spend time with me? And like everyone thought he was gay so it was weird the thing is, frick him. He lied. He made me feel like poop and now that it's convenient to like me or date, or whatever the frick, he thinks it's okay for him. To be honest, well some things shouldn't be communicated at all. So he's moving out for now, and I'm starting a whole new year of college without most of my friends, they took his side, and without the person I love the most. Comment 1. As someone who was tied for years to a man who said he didn't love me back but manipulated me for attention and emotionally abused me when I tried to see other people. Drop this guy entirely, even as a friend. This kind of behavior is disgusting and him doubling down on it is a big red flag. Can guarantee he will only continue with it in the future. Comment 2. Some people suck. Some people don't. Some people suck sometimes and don't at other times. It doesn't have anything to do with chromosomes or presented gender. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not attending my brother's child-free wedding because I don't want to get a sitter? My 25F brother, 20M, is getting married to his fiancée, 19F, in 2 weeks, which we just found out over the weekend. They are getting married on her father's estate, and the reception will be there as well. I don't really interact with his fiancée much, but she seems nice and makes my brother happy, so good for them. They let us know that the wedding would be child-free as well, which is entirely their choice. However, as much as it hurts, I don't think I am going to be attending. My daughter, too, has recently been diagnosed with epilepsy, which I have also dealt with most of my life, so I know this gets worse before it gets better. We are going through tests, medication changes, etc. The venue is over 3 hours away and I am completely uncomfortable leaving her for that long. I let my brother know this and he was hurt, and said that I am punishing them for having a child-free wedding, and they are entitled to do so. I said he is absolutely entitled to do so, but they gave little notice, and he can't get mad when people put their children first, especially when they are dealing with medical issues. He said I should just get a sitter and I told him absolutely not. I am not comfortable doing that with everything going on. He said I was being an idiot and, sorry, the world doesn't revolve around your kid. My parents understand my decision. His fiancée thinks I am being a complete idiot as well. Am I the idiot? Edit. Husband and I are still together. Because of his job he will be away at the time of the wedding. There's no updates, so here's a few comments. Soft, you're the idiot. There are definitely ways around this if you really wanted to go. You could get a hotel near the venue and have a friend watch your daughter there so you're really close by. You could only go to the ceremony and skip the reception if you're not gone long. There are bound to be other options if you're willing to actually look for them. You do have a bit of time to make arrangements and have a plan in place if you truly wanted to go and it was important to you. Instead you immediately jump to, no, I'm not going. So yeah, you're a bit of an AH, and you not going is something that I don't think your brother and his future wife will ever get past. Comment 2. No idiots here. They have the right to make a wedding child-free. You have the right to not attend. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.